pressure in control. Man, that looks great.
Jets! Woo! Oh my God, it's so beautiful. 78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Friday incarnation of Good Morning Jets. I am GreenBean. I am happy that you are here. It is 9:02 a.m. on December 30th, 2022. We're almost done with this one. This one's a wrap. What an interesting season. What an interesting year we've had. Lots of weirdness out there. Lots of transition from a shitty organization to a really good organization, to a shitty organization that can't seem to figure out a quarterback, to a fourth-string organization, to a Mike White organization, to a wackadoodle, oh my God, we're still in the playoffs organization. I don't know what the hell's going on here. But I will tell you this. I am firmly on the side of, I'm having a good time this year. If we win this game, and this was a comment that was brought up in the Thursday Think of It last night, I completely agree. The Jets win this game in Seattle, and that will have effectively caused all 17 games of a New York Jets football season to have meaning. Dude, do you realize the magnitude of that comment? I mean, it seems so simple. It's one of the things, you know, Jake and I were talking a couple months back, like actually earlier, you know, before the season, we were on, we were live together, Jake Assman and myself, and we were talking about our expectations and how we always 7 to 9 wins, and it's great progress, and we'll be really happy. And the way that other teams' fans hear that, the way that other teams' fans hear 7 wins? 7 wins? That's what you guys are hoping for? 7 wins? That's like a failure in most teams' minds, most fans' minds. And here we are, 7 to 9 wins. Woo! Progress. Because, guys, you have to remember how low we've gone. And one of the things I talk to you guys about all the time, and it's one of the things that I utilized in my therapeutic life, and that phase, that season of my existence. One of the things I used to coach my therapists when they're having difficulty with somebody, I would just say, hey, remember that not everybody starts at the same place. Some people are lower than others. Some people's difficulty is further out than others. You have to meet them where they are. What's progress over here might not be progress over here. If you compare the two, this one looks like a complete flop and this one looks like a complete success, but this one was closer and this one was further. So actually this is more of a thing. You see what I'm saying? That's us. We were in the doldrums just 2 years ago, not even a full 2 years, I think. We were talking about wishing that our team would lose all 16 games. All 16. That's what I was rooting for. Come on. When Greg Williams called the zero blitz and the end of the game, Derek Carr threw the touchdown to Henry Ruggs, I went, yeah, I couldn't believe it. Now we ended up winning a game against the Rams because Braden Mann is a good tackler, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. We could have had ourselves some T-Law, but no. But that's how far we've come. So we might have a full season of meaningful football, but where it stands today is this. Even if that doesn't happen, we made it all the way to the second to last game with meaningful football. And for that, I'm grateful, guys. We've been able to discuss and talk football. I haven't done the deep dive into the draft prospects. What a wonderful thing. Eric Craig likes Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr too, but let's say hello. So Eric's here, Pooch Guy's here, my buddy Matt's here, Spin Max Dave, Jay-Z Jetsfan. What's up, man? Jason Rice. Good morning, G Bizzle. What do we have? Waffles or pancakes? I'll tell you what. I don't eat breakfast very often. I only eat breakfast when I'm having Taylor ham, egg, and cheese or athletic greens. It's one or the other. That's what I do. I haven't had breakfast today. This is my breakfast today. My Six Flags cup. You see that? Today's a Six Flags kind of a day. What's that say? Eat, sleep, scream, repeat. That's me. How you doing? So we're going to get into a little bit of Mike LaFleur today. Mike LaFleur talking about the run game. We'll talk about C.J. Mosley a little bit in the and talking about the defense. So we got some run game to talk about. We got some defense to talk about. There's obviously the Geno Smith stuff. We did a little bit of that yesterday. If we want to get into that, we can. The first half, we'll talk a little bit about LaFleur, like I said, and C.J. Mosley, and then we'll get over into your comments and see what you guys are thinking this Friday. It's Friday, man. This is good stuff. So good morning, Aaron. Eric Craig, real quick, wants to know where the link is to become a Stream Beaner. Guys, Stream Beaners that's my newest membership. As you guys know by now, my big membership is the Beanbaggers, and that's more entailed. We do more stuff. Tier 3 Beanbaggers get guest spots on the Thursday. On the Thursday thick of it. There's classic watch parties. There's all 22 breakdown stuff that we do together. All kinds of fun stuff. But the Stream Beaners is very specific to the live streams. It's one tier. It's just in or out. And the button, Eric, should be right underneath the video. It should say join. It's like a little oval thing. It's gray and it looks like a Percocet. It reminds me of an old 10 milligram Percocet. I don't know. Again, I got to stop saying that. But that's what it brings my mind to. It's who I am. So, but that's what it looks like. It should be gray and it says join. You hit it and you're a Stream Beaner. Again, by the beginning of the week next week, I'll have all the new emojis in there for all you guys joining. Sincerely, I appreciate it. We're gonna have some fun, man. I want to make it fun for you guys. That's what it is. So the Stream Beaners comes with new emojis, stuff that you can express yourself in the live chat. It also comes with a free super chats and stuff like that, where you don't have to pay. You just get a member super chat each period of time. I think it's once a week, maybe once a month. It's one of those, I forget. But you get those as well, and a few other things. We'll do a private mock and things like that. So good morning, Eric, and good morning, Tyler. What's up, buddy? Vafadust is here. Phil Adams. Oh, this is great. 6 a.m. where you are, huh? Yeah, look at you. My buddy Phil. So look, we got the West Coast here. Right? We got Vafadust on the West Coast. We got Phil Adams in the UK. What a crazy lot we are. I'm telling you, man, that's up in the top 3 of things I've enjoyed while like kind of becoming this YouTube thing. GreenBean. That's the top 3 coolest things, man. Is that like at any given time, we are covering the globe. We got the people in Australia and New Zealand. We have the guy from Malaysia. We have our Germany people, Ireland. The Swedish guys are in the house sometimes. We get the guys from Mexico and Guatemala, right? It's amazing. It's like, I can't believe it. So very, very cool. Good morning to you. So hey, there he is. There's Bray. I was just thinking about you, obviously, when I mentioned New Zealand. You know who I'm thinking of, Braden. You know it, buddy. Braden's one of my faves, man. Braden knows his shit. For a New Zealand guy, you think you can't help but think they're another country. They must know less about the game. These guys are better than us, man. I'm telling you, they pay attention. Braden's dude was Greg Lloyd. He was pining for Greg Lloyd all draft season. Turns out he's pretty good. What's up, Sneakers to Boots? Positive morning, right, Richie? Captain Airs Ireland, right there. Captain K Techno. See that? Look at us. Look, this is great. I don't know where this guy is, but he lives in Crazy Town. So we got somebody here from Crazy Town. Right, Jay? Jay's in Crazy Town. There's Jed's Chaos. He's on the West Coast as well. Proud New York. Jay, that's Nick Shine, I think, right? Hey, Nick. What's up, buddy? Craig Safola. Old editor of one of my good buddies, Otto and George. Craig Cifola was the video guy for the world famous comedian Otto and George. If you guys didn't know that, he's a great dude. Craig, you have provided me with many hours of happiness before I even knew you, buddy. So thank you, Mr. Pickle Pants. All right, let's get into good morning, everybody. Let me just do this first real quick. Good morning, AbLab. Thank you very, very much for this very gracious and generous good morning. Thank you. So AbLab, I'm real curious. We're going to talk about Mike LaFleur. I know we've talked a little bit about Mike LaFleur in some of the streams. AbLab's a super positive guy, super positive guy, but also he's a Jets fan. So he's got his gripes, right? We all got our gripes. But if I remember correctly, AbLab might have some issues with LaFleur. I maybe I'm off, but I feel like AbLab may have some LaFleur issues. So so with that inspiration, correct me if I'm wrong, AbLab. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I think that's the case. So let's get into a little Mike LaFleur. Mike LaFleur did he had media availability yesterday. What we call a press conference, right? Or a presser, we like to call that. Where did it go? There it is. So he said some things about the run game, and I thought it was interesting. Number one, he takes ownership, which is fine. Now, he's very careful, guys. I'm not going to play the whole press conference. Of course, it's nine minutes. But just this little clip about what it means to the team and the offensive line for the run game. And the first thing he says is like, look, I got to call more runs. But he's very cautious not to talk about why the run game is off other than to say it's himself, right? Which I do appreciate. I always like that. We all like that. Nobody likes a guy that goes, well, if this guy could do his friggin' job like Adam Gase, Adam Gase is like, hey, man, I'm calling the right plays. If they could execute, then we might have a different topic here to discuss. That's bullshit, especially from the coach, right? It should be everybody. But we saw Zach Wilson get his head chopped off when he finally had enough answering the same frigging question. Like, that's the thing that I hate when we take things out of context. I don't think Zach should have said that either. No, when he said it, I went, ooh, I literally watched it live and went, oh, that's bad. That's going to be bad, man. But they asked him the same question 3 times in different forms, and he's just getting tired of it. Do you think your wide receivers are just, do you think you let down this guy? Do you think he's like, well, we do this and that. And he got increasingly frustrated. They saw it, and then they asked it again, and he said no and walked out. He was pissed. So I understand it, and I hate that we don't include context. That said, he's got to know not to say it, just like Salah said. Hey, man, when we're up on this podium, we have to know we have to absorb bullets. That's our job. When you're on the podium, you have to absorb bullets. That's the way it goes. That's the job. We prep our guys, and Zach had a moment, and we ate him up for it. So LaFleur, on the other hand, is so he's our offensive coordinator, and we want him to be able to own it and not pass the buck. So let's see what Mike LaFleur says. Let me make sure the volume's up here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's take a listen to Mike LaFleur talking about the run game.
From every single guy, me calling enough runs, me calling the runs at the right time, giving enough runs that keeps the defense off balance, because it's not high school. You can't just run the same run over and over and over, right? And so it's been a magnitude of things where I keep preaching to the guys. We have ran the ball. There was a point in the season where we were a running team, and we were doing a lot of good things in the run game, and that's kind of fallen off in the last month. And as you can see, when you're not running the ball, what can happen? And it hasn't been good, and it starts with me. But we plan on getting that fixed now.
Piggyback off of that, just how would you assess the offensive line play? You talked about how the team has played the last month, so just what are your assessments on that?
Yeah, any O-line take a lot of pride in the run game. You want to see extremely happy group come into a locker room after an O-line's rush for 175 yards and got a win, 200 yards last year versus Jacksonville. I think we ran for like 292, and I don't know if I've seen a more excited offensive line after a regular season win. So they take a lot of pride in it, and we as coaches take a lot of pride in the pride that they take. So I got to do my part in giving them enough runs and give them enough opportunities to get that thing going. But they're going to keep battling. I know that. It's been a whirlwind of different guys in there, but any guy that we have in there, we feel confident is going to get the job done, and they got another opportunity this Sunday to get that done.
So, all right, let me get this off your screen over here. So, you see what he said. Number one, he talked about it being on him. I have to call more run plays. But what does that mean? Okay, so you can say that very simply, and there are guys, look, we talk in the chat. I talk all day, every day. Blah, 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 blah. So I say a lot of things. We're in the chat. We say a lot of things. And we're talking, and we're disagreeing, and we're agreeing, and we're happy, and we say a lot of things. What does it mean to say, well, I got to call more run plays? What does that mean? Yes, you do. Now, but we have fans saying, stop running the ball so much. Right? Stop. We're down 3 touchdowns, whatever. So it can go both ways, but what does it mean when an offensive coordinator says, I have to run the ball more? Well, I ran the ball 12 times in the whole game. I got to run the ball more. What is he really saying? Now, he's saying I got to run the ball more, of course. But what he's also saying is we have to get into a scenario where I can run the damn ball, guys. Okay? And they said, what does that mean? That was, I don't know which press. I didn't recognize the voice. I couldn't pick out who that was. But it was a good question. And I'm glad that they asked it at that point. It was a good follow-up question. He said, well, what does that mean for the offensive line? What's your assessment? They were picking up what he was saying. I got to run the ball more, but I can't. That's what he's not telling you. I have to run the ball more, but I can't run the ball. We have to get into a scenario where I can run the damn ball. Okay, now he said, that's on me. But we have to figure that out. We have to be able to do certain things. So the reporter very wisely goes, well, what's your assessment of the offensive line? See what he says here now. After he's saying he's got to run the ball more, what is he saying about the offensive line? Well, he says a couple important things. Number one, he snuck in there. We've had a bunch of different guys. Fair enough. Quick to say, but we have confidence. Anybody we put out there, we're confident can do the job. Great. It's not always the case, and you know that, man. Like, look, when we put Connor McDermott in there, that was because we had no one else. Don't tell me you might be confident he's on the team, but, clearly the next week they put AVT in that. They moved AVT to Connor McDermott's right tackle position. So don't tell me they were confident. That was necessity, right? So I like that he's saying it this way. But really what's got to happen, and he talked about the pride of that offensive line being able to rush for 172 yards. After that Buffalo game, when we literally took over the fourth quarter, running the ball, it was a 96-yard drive. Remember that? Started on our 4-yard line, pound, 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 pound. That's where the team gets pride from that. And it's not just because of pride, it's because they're getting the job done. It's because they take over the game. Now, we have not been able to do that. Why? And we've talked about this. Salah talked about it because they're sticking 8 and 9 in the box. We have 5 offensive linemen. You put 2 tight ends, there's still only 7. If they have 9 guys in the box, guys. Now, you can say that, well, my running back will be open, my wide receiver will be open. They have that. It's all covered, but they're saying you don't know which guys are coming. And if you dare hand the ball off, it's toast. You see what I mean? So we have to get into a scenario where we can run the ball more. Now, I think where we have, at least for me, right, where we have some of the gripes with, there's Ablab. All right, I'll get to this in a second. Where I have some of the gripes, it's just like Ablab is saying here, the decisions, right? I think that LaFleur, we need to be able to get into scenarios where he's not in those stressful decisions as much. Third and 9, right? 4th and 3, and those types of things we have to be able to get. And he talked earlier in the press conference. If you'd like, you should listen to it later. The whole thing. It's only 9 minutes. So he has that. He has the awareness. He says, the first downs, man. Like having penalties on first downs. You can't start every drive, man, 1st and 15. Like, it's not advantageous to be behind the 8 ball or, have a first down where you get no yardage, things like that. Now, what he's talking about here, guys, obviously he's talking about what he's talking about, but what he's also talking about is being hamstrung by the way that the game is going. So we have to have players on the field that can do it. Now, we've looked, and again, I've watched most of the games this year. Admittedly, I didn't even watch the Jaguars. It just makes me ill. Honestly, I just don't feel like doing it. All right. But most games this year, I've watched the all 22 at least once, sometimes 2-3 times. I rewind. You would be blown away, guys, if you watched the all 22, which is the coach's film, right? And as you guys have seen it by now. The angles where you can see every player on the field. You have the side angle, and then you have behind the quarterback angle. So you can see everything develop. You can watch players that are not on the screen when you're watching on TV. And let me tell you something, man. There are so many plays that the offensive line blocks enough and the guy's open. They block enough for the guy to get open, and we don't throw the ball. Or we take off before there's pressure. Or we throw the ball and and the pass is higher or low or whatever. You'd be blown away, guys. Like the people that don't watch that, I understand it. I always put myself in people's. I always try to, like walk in someone's shoes, so to speak. I always try to do that so I can gain perspective. Like when I'm arguing, what the fuck is wrong with you? How did you listen to me? I try to go, why are they saying that? So I can have a more constructive discussion instead of yelling at each other, right? But I think LaFleur, what we have to see here is like, number one, if we had a quarterback that could hit it and the offensive line didn't have the injuries, guys, we would have a totally different season. Totally. I want you to know that. It's not just, hyperbole. It's not. Like we're talking about, it's that simple. And those decisions where I cringe with LaFleur, like Ablab's saying here, he's okay. My issue with him, he seems unsettled at times, makes some baffling decisions, right? But he's okay. That's right where I am. Now, if we had a quarterback, with all due respect, if we were getting quarterback play this season where those guys that were open, the plays are working, the design is working, the execution is off. And we've had some drops, right? So if all those things weren't happening, now some of it's going to happen, no matter what, it's a season, it's football. It's going to happen. But if we mitigated that, if we limited those, and we were actually able to hit those plays that are wide, dude, it's all there. When you watch it, like, dude, there's another play that works, another play that worked, another play that worked that we didn't execute. It happens all the time. We were able to do that. The stuff that bothers me, that bothers Ablab, and bothers so much of you guys, wouldn't even be present. And that's the stuff. So when LaFleur talks about the run game, he's so on point. But what he's really saying is that we have to execute on the plays that we are given, so the defense needs to back up. Right now, we are playing against a brick wall, and it's almost impossible to win that way unless you can connect on the things that pull them back. You make them pay. Like you see the play where Uzoma got, you know why? Because there's always going to be someone open. If you can have 8 guys in the box, that leaves guys free. You see what I mean? You have to be able to get to him. So you leave that guy free, I'm going to hit him 12 times out of 12. If you leave him free 12 times, I don't give a shit. I will hit him 12 times. You better cover him. You better back the F up. You have to tell them that. And then they will. They go, shit, man, it's like getting killed with paper cuts. You can kill someone with paper cuts. It takes a minute, but that's it. After a certain amount of time, guys, stop with the paper. All right, stop. It's like the Chinese water drill, torture. Boop. First of all, why? Like, what the hell do I care? Little drips. After 6 hours, like, you know what I mean? That kind of a thing. Astamar Darkstar. What a great name, dude. Darkstar alone is just so cool. Thank you for the super chat. He says, GreenBean, name the last 4,000-yard New York Jet, take 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception with our defense. I'm with you. The last 4,000-yard receiver quarterback was Namath, bro. Namath. Joe Namath. Well, now but here's why it's so great, though, just so you guys know. Joe Namath did he had 4,007 yards in 1967, which was not the Super Bowl year, by the way, guys. But he did that in 14 games. Okay, so his average yards a game, he had 286 yards per game average, 15 yards a completion. So, I mean, insane numbers. But check this out. He had 26 touchdowns and 28 interceptions, man. So, like, our greatest, and it was great. Like, don't forget, 4,000 yards is still kind of the milestone, right? It's like 1,000-yard rusher. 4,000 yards is, you break 4,000 yards, you're a successful quarterback. And anybody that limits it, obviously there's scenarios, but why isn't a 4,000-yard quarterback successful? It's usually because of circumstances surrounding the quarterback. You know, he never wins. Well, the defense is terrible. He's scoring 28 points a game. You know, that kind of stuff. But when you look at Joe Namath, he made 4,000 yards in 1967 in 14 games, bro. We can't even do it in 17. You see what I mean? You see it? It's not easy to do. So that's it, Dark Star. It's been, let's see, 1967, 77, 87, 97, 2007, 2017, 55 years since we've seen 4,000 yards. This is why it's so maddening to me. You bring a guy here who's thrown for 4,000 yards or just under, like 3,989. 4,000 yards, right above or below 4,000 yards for essentially 8 of his 9 years, and plays I don't understand, people. I don't. But we don't got to do the whole Derek Carr thing today. We don't even know if we got. But thank you. And I agree. If we get, if we got 250 yards and 2 touchdowns a game from our quarterback, and we had a running game with this defense, we're a 12-win team. I completely agree. And that's so you said get Carr. I'm with you. So talking about like LaFleur though. Let me see what you got. Anthony D, move out LaFleur. I think that's short-sighted, Anthony. As much as I love you, I think that's short-sighted. Yeah, and this is the thing. So Anthony, you're reading the false reports. Like, more has come out now, Anthony, that was a complete bullshit story. And if you just look at it, you can see whenever there's an anonymous source, guys. I'm just going to tell you, that's called lazy reporting. Anonymous source says. And not even like anonymous source inside the building. Anonymous NFL executive. What is that? Not even Jets executive? Who are we talking about here? So some guy, and like Frankie said last night, the way to get those kinds of quotes, guys, and not even quotes because they're anonymous, but the way to get those comments is to ask leading questions. You just go, how do you think Woody feels being booed out of his own stadium on Christmas? Oh man, there's no way he's happy. He says some heads might roll. There it is. Some heads might roll. And that's basically all the story is. So I don't see anyone getting fired, even if we lose out. Maybe a Calabrese or something like that. But I think Calabrese would probably get demoted. I mean, I think they like Rob Calabrese. I really do. They've said as much. I mean, and they gave him the offensive play calling in the Senior Bowl. I mean, I don't know. They seem to like him. I mean, he did a fucking great job in that game. But like John said, Zach is booty cheeks. So that's important. That's important. When you have a guy that's booty cheeks, it's hard to win. Right, John? It's hard to win. Matt O'Leary checking in with some wisdom. Let's see what he says. Michael LaFleur isn't a perfect offensive coordinator, but I think too many are trying to scapegoat him. Keep the continuity, run this staff back in 2020. I completely agree. I'm 100% behind my brilliant friend, Matt O'Leary. And like, here's the thing. I don't agree with him to agree with him. I happen to agree with him. And here's the thing I'll tell you. When I happen to agree with Matt O'Leary, I feel good because I feel like I'm on the right track because Matt O'Leary is always right. Right? Ablab agrees too. Look at that. See? That's what I'm saying, man. You got the great ones. You got the great ones, man. You got the great ones. We're all believing in the right stuff. Oh, Dom C's a great one. Let's see what he says. There is no denying that Mike LaFleur, Shanahan influenced offensive works fine when there's a quarterback under center who can manage the game, read through progressions, and make quick, decisive passes. Dude, it's a proven fact, right? Right, Dom? And like you're seeing it over there in San Francisco. You had Jimmy G, who Jets fans, Jimmy G would be great over here. And he's been good. He's gotten into the Super Bowl, dude. Playoffs. And they still wanted to upgrade. You want to know why? They used 3 first-round picks to upgrade the quarterback position. They had Jimmy G. Do you want to know why? Because they know it's the system that he's succeeding with. They know that's the only reason why. Not that the only reason, but they feel as though he's giving them rock-bottom system performance. They can get better. That's what they feel. And then you add the injuries and all that. Dude, they had Jimmy G, and they used 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to choose his replacement. Read the writing, dude. Okay? Read the writing. And then and even a potentially bigger shot to Jimmy G is the fact that Brock Purdy, the Mr. Irrelevant, which if you don't know what that is, that's the final pick in this year's draft, came out of Iowa State. By the way, we talked about him. I loved Brock Purdy coming out. Not loved, but I liked him a lot. We talked about him. So why is this guy not being looked at more? Like he looks good to me. But they found him to be limited and all that shit. But he's the 7th round pick of the 49ers. He is actually performing better than Jimmy G is. What does that tell you? The reason that they went for Trey Lance is because they already know that any quarterback average level can perform in this system. The system's easy. It's geared to make quarterbacks successful. Like Dom said, all you got to do is manage the game, read through your progressions, and make decisive pass. That's it. Just boop, boop, there he is, boom, hit him. That's all you have to do. Zach is making it look difficult, all right? He's the only quarterback making it look difficult. Everybody else can make it look easy. All right, so the reason that they went for Trey Lance, guys, and not just kept Jimmy G is because they feel like Trey Lance can give you Jimmy G. But Trey Lance has all the extra ability that Jimmy G can't hope to possess. The arm strength, the mobility, all those types of things. They wanted to upgrade. Right? They wanted to upgrade. But dude, that should tell you all you need to know. Now, I'm not saying Jimmy G wouldn't be good here, whatever. And LaFleur might love him. LaFleur worked with him for years, of course. But I'm just telling, especially after working with poor Zach. It's like, dude, I can't get this kid to just do the simplest shit. I can't get him to do it. So Dom C's dead, right on. And again, like I don't think anybody, at least me, I'm not saying that LaFleur is perfect. I have a fair share of issues with LaFleur, right? Situational awareness being number one. Like, dude, that's not the play for this situation. I hate the way he gives up on 3rd and longs. It's like almost like he doesn't even try to do it. He's like he's conservative. He plays safe. I hate it. I do. I'm a balls to the wall kind of guy. This is how I'm wound. But LaFleur, dude, I'm telling you, if you watch the coaches film, you'll see it. You'll never bitch about LaFleur again. I'm just telling you. You'll be like, ooh, okay, I didn't know that. Oh my God, there's 15 plays that were wide open. JT, I'm with you, JT. Let's beat Seattle. Tyler Timpany checking in. What's up, Tyler? Thank you, buddy. He says, agree, the scheme of LaFleur works. While not perfect, he's been the best offensive coordinator we've had in a long time. The only one I would even compare with him is Morton, the guy that Bowles brought in to replace a re-retiring Chan Gailey. He brought in Morton. Morton made lemonade out of lemons, and Todd Bowles hated him for it. He fired him right away. It's a crazy thing, man. It's a crazy thing. He was much better. Todd Bowles wanted to be a run-first offense. Morton was having McCown throw it to Richie Andrews. Woo-hoo! He made lemonade out of lemons, and Bowles fucking chopped his head off because of it. So he looked good. But I'm with you, man. LaFleur's the best offensive coordinator we've had here in a while. In a while. I mean, I liked Marty Morningwig, right? Marty Morningwig was a pretty damn good offensive coordinator. We were an imperfect team, and Rex was whatever. Marty Morningwig did a pretty good job with the Ravens too. I think he got fired though. Ultimately, maybe he retired. I don't even know. He's a good offensive coordinator. Before him, we had Schottenheimer, right? Oh, before him, we had Tony Sperano, right? The guy we hired, the former Dolphins head coach. That was a terrible move, and God rest his soul, right? But that was a terrible move. He was, we brought him in. He was limited. He sucked, and then we fired him and hired Marty Morningwig. But before that, we had Shoddy, who was another one. He's very great offensive mind, but dude, talk about outthinking yourself. So LaFleur is good, man. Now, again, he's not perfect, but again, on top of, you got to remember, like, he's in his second year. You've already seen improvement from year 1 to year 2. Like, give somebody a second, guys. Give them a minute. Give them a minute, especially when they're showing progress, when they're showing that what I do works. Don't chop my head off. I don't like the idea that LaFleur is getting fired. I mean, I find it laughable. If it happens, I'm going to be confused. The only way I would do it is if like a Frank Reich or something like that was available, but I don't know. And I don't think so. I think this coaching unit is tight, and they're going to ride or die together, man. That's what I think. I don't think you're going to see too many heads falling on the pike. You know what I mean? All right, so let's see what else you guys are saying. Good morning, Aunt Gina. How you doing? Don't you ever apologize. Don't you ever apologize for anything, ever. Okay, Aunt Gina? Except for making me a Jets fan. That's the only thing you should feel bad about. Anything other than that, you're wonderful. Good morning to you. John Hepburn. Good morning, John. He expects a big game from Bam Boozer. What's up, Booze? He says he wants to get Carr. I'm in too. Trevor M. Next year's playoffs are bust. Yeah, well, we're going to get in this year. But I agree. Next year is playoffs are bust, which was the proper progression, right? We weren't supposed to even be in the playoff conversation. We wanted to be in the playoff conversation in mid-December. That's all we wanted. I know. I'm with JT here, right? That would be the best, Kim. Brees being ready for, dude. Don't forget, man. Like, don't forget. We lost major players, and we've lost Corey Davis. We've obviously lost, we lost Becton, ABT. We lost Fant. We lost Wayne Brown. We lost Max Mitchell. It's like, we're doing all right, man. We're doing all right. I still think we should have won some of those games. Striku thinks Jimmy G, and I think your point pertains to a bunch of quarterbacks. But right, he says when Jimmy G is here next year, this offense is humming. Everybody will kissing Mikey Al's feet. I think we're going to like Mike LaFleur. If we just have a quarterback that can do it, I think we're good. Jimmy G, I'm telling you, the problem I have with him is he's going to be very expensive, but he's always injured. Knowing that, I just don't want to go down that route, man. You know what I mean? Like, why do we want to go down that? You know what I mean? It's like when you already know. It's one thing to draft a kid who's never been injured, and like Cam Clark, never injured in college. You draft a tackle. He's a good tackle. You're moving him to guard. He's going to be a perfect guy for your system. You take a year, you develop him, you switch, and he gets injured so many times. And then he gets that spinal injury and has to retire after 2 years. Like, that's bad luck, dude. He never got in. That's different than drafting a D. Milliner who's always injured. And guess what? He's injured. That's an idiot. Like you've seen, like you say, you want to see what somebody will do? Look what they've always done. You want to see what somebody's going to do or predict? Look at what they've always done. You got a good indicator right there. It's like when people say, I promise I'm going to do this. Well, what have you done before this? You've shown nothing to tell me that, to show me that that's possible. So anyway, Benjamin Garlinghouse, we're going to move over to CJ Mosley quickly, and then we'll wrap this morning up. Benjamin Garlinghouse, thank you, buddy. BB trade idea. BB. Bill Belichick? Let's see. Raiders get MWD. Mike White, Denzel Mims. Is that what you're saying? Okay, Mike White, Denzel Mims, and a fourth. Jets get Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. Adams wants to stay with Carr. Also, please keep Mike LaFleur. Benjamin, you know why you like that trade so much? You know why you like that trade? So I'm gonna give you a second to think about it. I'm gonna ask you again in a few minutes. Why do you like that trade so much? I like it too. You know, I like that trade a whole bunch. Although we don't have the cap space for such a move, I don't think. I mean, you can do whatever. I don't know how to do it, but anybody know why he likes this trade so much? What's BB though? That's what I'm not getting, Benjamin. BB? Big bad trade idea? Right. Ablab, is that what he's saying? Big bad trade idea? What's he saying? I like it because Adams replaces. Oh, yeah. There's Blockbuster. Okay, Benjamin. There you go. That's what it is. I'll tell you why you like it. All right, let's go back to it. You say like it, and you're right about that. I'll tell you why you like it. Because we are absolutely getting the better end of that deal. Dude, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams for Denzel Mims and Mike White and a fourth. Sure, I'll throw in a third, man. Why not? Throw in a second. Sure. Why not? Like, that's literally, I mean, last year, before this resurge, the amazing season of Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams was in most circles considered the best wide receiver in the entire NFL. Now, right now, maybe he's not in that, but he's still there. I mean, he's still top 5. So you're talking about a top 5 receiver for the Jets' 5th receiver. As much as I like Denzel Mims, man, I think Denzel Mims can do all that shit and then some. But he's not there. He hasn't proven it. You know, I don't know what the reason is. We've seen him drop passes. We've seen him make mistakes. So I don't know. I'll tell you, I like it too. If that happened, that is a blockbuster, buddy. And if Joe Douglas pulled off that trade, I'm going to tell you right now, Woody should literally be waiting. As soon as they sign the dotted line and go, hey, Woody, check it out. Here's what I did. I just traded Denzel Mims, Mike White, and a 4th-round pick for Devontae Adams and Derek Carr. Woody should be like this. Here's a blank check, and here's a number of years. Fill it out for me. Okay? You are the greatest thing I've ever had. Plus, I'm going to buy you a snuggly sweater blanket thing, and I'm going to give you kisses. That's what he should do. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's one-sided. Right, it's one-sided, right. The Pussy Assassin says Raiders have to throw in 5 CUR. I don't know what you're drinking this morning. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm with you, Benjamin. Don't get me wrong. I'm not throwing stones. I'm just saying that's a one-sided trade, buddy. That's a one-sided trade. We would absolutely get the better end. If Joe Douglas could do that, dude, what would happen to this? It would be I know, right? Look, McNally. So you got Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Bam Knight is stupid good, right? And that's not even talking about Elijah Moore, you know, the tight ends. You got Rucker and Bruin on the back burner for some reason. Dude, this offense, nobody would stop us, man. You had Michael Carter, right? We got, dude, it's crazy. Crazy. I would do that. Again, I would throw in, if they said, I can't do it without a, I'm there, but I need a second instead of 4th, I'd say, okay, fine. Throw in a box of porterhouses and you got a deal. That's what I'd say. So I can have steak with my friends and laugh. That's what I'd be doing. And the whole NFL would join me. We can go this in unison. Josh McDaniels would get fired. Or if who's the GM? Is it still, what's his name? Did the GM stay after the thing? Let me see. All right, so we got it. This is fun. It really is. Yeah, so Bablab says, blockbuster. We ain't trading because he's getting cut. Well, yeah, this is what I think. We were talking about this last night, and Ablab's on with this one. Derek Carr can literally say, nope, not doing it. He has a no trade clause, and he can say, no, you don't want me, cut me. Now, the interesting thing is they have an out. Now, I'm nervous. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Let's take now again. You got with grain of salt. I am not a contract guy. It's not my area of strength. Okay, but we'll look at it. There's an out clause this year, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to share the screen. But he's right. But the thing is, if he's getting cut, then I don't know, man. It's being able to trade for him ensures that it's you, right? Instead of competing with everybody else that's going to pay him $50 million, like the Texans or whoever. All right, so look at this. So see this guy? So here's his contract. Okay, his cap hit this year is 19. His cap hit next year is 34, then 43, then 43. Okay, with dead cap, so you can cut him at any time. And it's only this low dead caps every year. But why the hell keep them if so they can get out of this any given year. But this year, they can get out in 2023. They can either pay him $25 million in 2023, or they can cut him, and they only have a $5 million dead cap. So what Ablab is talking about, so this is just the way the contract is written. And they did this to show commitment to him when Josh McDaniels got here. But to keep it in there, hey, dude, let's just say we don't work out. If we're not working well together, let's give ourselves an out. And they both agreed. So this contract, and now if they get out of here, you can renegotiate with him. The contract is toast. So if they cut him, they pay $5.6 million in dead cap. And then he's a free agent, and you got to go get him. That's the whole thing. Then you're gonna be fighting with the Colts and the Texans and everybody else. You know what I mean? So, but he's got a point. But Derek Carr may, if you could say to the Raiders, "Hey, look, dude, you're gonna have to cut him. We'll give you this. We'll give you something like we'll give you." Garling houses. We'll give you Mims. We'll give you Mike White. We'll throw in Zach Wilson. We'll throw in whatever. What do you want? What do you want? You want CJ Mosley? You know what I mean? So we can make the money, I love CJ Mosley, don't get me wrong. But so you make the numbers work. So just talk to him. Say, hey, you go to the Jets, look at this team. Give us Devontae Adams. You know what I mean? We'll take just give it to us. Clean it off. We'll help each other. What do you need from my roster? What do you need? I'm not giving you Garrett Wilson. I'm not giving you Breece Hall. I'm not giving you any of those guys. No ABT. But you can go ahead. Take a look around my shop. It's interesting. Yeah, and this is what Jerry agrees with you. That's the thing. But the whole trade thing is so you can get ahead of the free agent craziness. That's the whole thing. But again, he doesn't have to do it. Like Ablab said, he's got a no trade clause. He can say, nope, I'm going nowhere. You're going to have to cut me. But they're going to try. They're going to try. No doubt. All right, let's see. All right, I want to get into Grand Theft Football, right? Snowball. That's good. I like that. I want to show you guys a comment from CJ Mosley real fast, talking about the defense and how much it would suck for him and the guys to be sitting at home once again. So this is our buddy CJ Mosley, team captain or defensive captain. I mean, he says these past few weeks, the main thing that's had me in a bitter mood. See, he's not pulling punch. I'm pissed. It's thinking about being at home on the couch watching the playoffs with our defense not playing in it. There's so much work we've put in, all the things we've done this year to make our defense better. We've got the stats to show it, and it's going to hurt real bad if we're watching TV in the playoffs and seeing other defenses out there and not ours playing against teams we know we can play against. What are you hearing there? Right? What are you hearing? You know what I'm hearing? The defense has just about had it with the offense. And I'm going to show you something. So you see the comment there. Now I'm going to show you guys something. when he talks about the stats. Do I have it up there? Oh, where is it? There it is. Okay. You look at the, look, and there's many ways we can dissect this. I just want to show an overview here. Dude, we got the third ranked defense in the NFL. They're giving up average at 309 yards a game, 113 rushing yards. Let's see. So we got 40 sacks, which I thought we'd be in the 50s, to be honest with you, but it's still a good number. We're only giving up, guys, this is key, 18.8 points a game. 18. You score 20 points a game with the Jets defense and you win. That's it. So what he's saying right here, he hasn't been in the playoffs since he's come to the Jets, obviously. He's used to being in the playoffs with the Ravens and all that. Comes over here, tumultuous injury, then you got the COVID, then the whole thing, coaching switches, all the stuff. He's saying, dude, we're good enough. We're good enough. And it sucks because we're tired of it. So what I see here is that the defense, he's speaking for the defense. I'm in a bitter mood and we've about had it. We are good enough to be playing in these games. And I'm going to be bent out of shape, man, if we're not in these games. So I fully expect this defense to come out and play balls to the wall against Seattle because Mike White is back and there's at least that chance that the offense can do something. Right? So that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. And I, quite frankly, let me say this. I'm happy to be hearing it. I really am. I'm happy to be hearing it. It's about time. Like, you don't want guys throwing, like, the way he did it was perfect. Where he's not saying the offense sucks. All he's saying, we are good enough. Our defense is good enough. And I'm in a bitter mood the last few weeks because we've been playing well enough. Even that bad game that they had against the Jaguars, they held them to 19 points, guys. Again, 18.8 points a game. That's what they do. So it's nice to see that our defense is playing well enough to have that level of pride that they can speak on it, which, again, is going to be super important because, guys, complain all you want, talk about overrated this, overrated that. The truth is, this is the best defense we've had in a very long time. And not for nothing, they've been relatively consistent since game 3. Relatively. They've had their moments, of course, but relatively consistent. Yeah, right. Snowball says, our line, CJ is saying, our offensive line better not let Mike White get touched. Right? Exactly. They're going to say that. Hey, you know what's up. And we're not going to win with Zach. We're not going to win with Flacco. We're not going to win with Strebler, most likely. Sorry, Tony Alexio. You got to protect this kid. You got to protect, sacrifice your soul to protect him. Everything. It's that important. T. Rivera checking in. GreenBean, good morning. Love your show. Great content. You know, my friend, it's very possible we get Adams because he's already stated he'll ask for a trade if they cut Carr. Again, dude, I mean, I don't know where we're getting the money, though, T. Rivera. You know, like it's like we're bringing in Carr, we're bringing in Rodgers, we're bringing in Devontae Adams. Like, we got to re-sign Quinn Williams. Like, I don't know where we're getting it. We still have C.J. Mosley for $21 million. Like, I don't know. And we don't have much. Let's see here. Let's just see here. 2023. This is our cap space, guys, as it stands right now. So we have $15 million in cap. Now we're going to make some cuts and move some things, of course. But still, where are you getting $33 million for Derek Carr or $40 million for Aaron Rodgers? And then you're getting what Devontae Adams contract, right? How much is he making? It's not cheap. $140 million. So let's just take a look real quick. So Devontae Adams in 2023, He's making. He's got a 31 million. Wait. Sorry. He's got a $14 million cap hit next year and a $25 million cap hit the year. Then there's a potential out with a $15 million dead cap. You got to eat $15 million if you don't want to pay $44 million. Devontae Adams' agent did a good job, in my opinion. Again, it's not my numbers. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but that looks pretty good. You either got to pay us $15 million to get rid of us, or you got to pay us $44 million to keep us. Now, by that time, maybe that's what receivers are making. Maybe that's what they're betting on, but I don't know. See, that's the thing, T. Rivera. I'm not saying that they might not trade Adams or whatever, but he can ask for what he wants. Remember, guys can do whatever. They can say whatever they want, but you look right there. There's a contract. He signed it. His blood's on it. I saw John Wick 2 yesterday. Remember the guy he had his blood thumb in a thing. He said, dude, you put your blood on here. You owe me. That kind of thing. It's not that, but still a contract. That's the other thing, Jerry Jet. Great point. And thank you for saying it. We can't trade Mike White. He's a free agent. There's Zach Arlinghouse. I forgot all about it. Thank you, Jerry Jet. That's the thing. Now, I think he'll get signed, but why? I don't know, man. That's kind of douchey when you sign guys and then just trade them. Unless it's a free, franchise kind of a thing. But if you're going to sign someone to a contract, and that's Bill Belichick move. You know what I mean? That's what he does. All right, we'll do one more super chat. We're going to wrap this up. You guys are great. I love spending the morning with you. I want to get out of here before I start crossing ties with other shows. JJ Pavilion. JD is an average GM. Why is this so taboo to say? He signed good free agents. Also signed a lot of bad ones. One great draft, one average. Well, I don't think it's taboo to say it. I think if you think he's an average GM, then you're not paying attention. I mean, yes, he's made his mistakes, and I have plenty of issue. You know what I mean? I don't think it's perfect GM, but you got to remember he's a first-time GM. So those mistakes, like going all the way back to 2020 and in the COVID year, his first time ever doing it and saying, look at this, James Morgan and Ashton. I don't know. I think that's a little bit, okay, you can. I mean, it's on his record. But to me, I think the thing that guys who are on the average to bad side for Joe D's performance are negating the entire teardown, bro. Like, don't forget that. The Jets for 30 years have never done a teardown. I've been screaming about it for years. When are we going to just clean house? We're always keeping guys around, and they even still did it a little bit with Boyer. But Joe Douglas came in. He sat here for 1 year. He got rid of Adam Gase. He got rid of his whole crew. He got rid of the trainers. He got rid of the doctors. He walked in the scout room, got rid of 2 scouts that have been identified to be leaks. He said, you and you out of here. He brought in his own guys. He cleaned house. Like, you have to remember that's part of the job, dude. Like, we're talking about his record. He had 2 wins. Well, fuck, this guy sucks. Not that you're saying that, but you hear that stuff. And it's, if you include everything, and what did he do in the teardown? He didn't just cut everybody. He got value and high value for guys that we were never going to keep. Jamal Adams, the previous organization thought he was a pillar of the organization. He's not. Joe Douglas got 2 firsts and a third for him, essentially. Sam Darnold, he knew he's not it. He's not the guy. Maybe he has a nice career later. He's not the guy. He handled it perfectly, and he got 3 picks for him. 32nd quarterback in the NFL. He did it with Leo. He got rid of Avery. He took all the lumps with Tremaine Johnson and Quincy Enunwa and Le'Veon Bell, and he cleaned house. Dude, that is to be to be included in the job. His trades are astronomical, beneficial for the Jets. He hasn't signed a single bad trade yet, not one. Yeah, the free agents, I don't love his free agents. I think he's kind of hit and miss on those. You know what I mean? Some are good. I think most are not so good. I don't love a lot of the free agents. But in his defense, the one I did love the most, Laken Tomlinson, looks like the worst. So what the hell? But anyway, I think Joe Douglas, He's not the best GM, but I think he's the best GM we've had here for a long time. And when you look at somebody's job, it's the first time ever doing it. He is clearly better than anyone we've had in this position ever. Why are we looking to chop his head off after 3 years? Like, give him the time. He signed a 6-year contract for a reason. His team was in shambles. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I appreciate the comment, though. Guys, like Harry said, please smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, dude, we got 2 full days. I got 140 subs to get or so. Doesn't look like it's going to happen to reach my goal. We're close, and I'm still grateful. But if you haven't subscribed, please do. Tell your friends. Make your daughter and your mother subscribe. Get everybody involved so we can hit that goal of 10,000 subscribers before my 2-year anniversary, which is tomorrow. 2 years on YouTube, hanging out with you guys. I really do appreciate it, and I've enjoyed my time. That all said, guys, you can join the Beanbaggers. The link is in the description. That gives you all kinds of great access and fun and T-shirts and all fun stuff in the Beanbaggers. It's a lot of access to me. Or if you want to just join and support the channel and have live stream applicable benefits, you can join the Stream Beaners, and that button is right below the video. Guys, thank you for spending the morning with me. I love you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.
I love Jets fans. You name one other organization that deals with the shit that we deal with and is still this passionate. Sure, you got the little segments, the dog pound. But look at the Patriots fans. They just had 20 years of there are kids, there are 20, 21-year-old, 25-year-old people in this world that are Patriots fans who have never known losing. Never in their entire lifetime. They were born into this Belichick-Brady thing, and they have consistently won. They've won 6 Super Bowls. They've been to 9 or whatever it is. And then when they didn't get in there, they were the AFC Championship game or the semifinals or whatever. And what happens the year that Tom Brady leaves? Dude, you have droves of people leaving the Patriots. These are diehard Pats fans. This is what they have. Diehard Pats fans going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans. Why? Because I'm a fucking fan of Tom Brady. Bullshit. What is that?